Well, let's go ahead and just get this rolling then. So thank you all for being here. This is a webinar about AI and clicks and how to turn your static content into this sales ready engine. We have our two guests here, Andy Crestadina and Matt Hines. For those who don't know me, my name is Josh Baez. I'm the Senior Manager of Demand Gen here at Netline. We do programmatic content marketing, content distribution for B2B marketers who are obsessed with their pipeline. So anything lead gen, anything buyer insights, we are a platform to help you get those and more. So I'm so excited to be chatting today. I just got back from HubSpot Inbound last week. There was a lot of chatter around AI, of course, technology tools, the future of SEO and content. And so I think having Andy, especially here, and then Matt, you as well, it's going to be an interesting discussion because there's a lot of blind spots, I think, that like personally I have. So I know I'm going to be learning a lot today, and hopefully everyone who is joining us today is going to learn something too. So before we dive into that, Andy, do you mind giving a little intro about yourself for those who might not know who you are?
Sure. I'm a fan of Matt Hines. I've learned a ton from this man over the years. He's changed my thinking about the how marketing actually works and driving pipeline. But I'm also the co-founder of Orbit Media Studios, which is a web development and website optimization company. I'm sitting here in Chicago. We started this business 24 years ago, and in that time, I've done more than 1,000 projects. I think a lot and research regularly topics such as conversion optimization and visitor psychology, search optimization, analytics, content strategy, and now, of course, AI. So these are lots of points of view, doing lots of speaking and teaching and writing and research on AI, specifically the AI search intersection. And I've been looking forward to this. So thanks, Josh, for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And Mr. Matt, of course, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Matt Hines, president of Hines Marketing. My career has really been focused on helping companies build predictable pipelines, especially those that have long, complex sales cycles where you can't just do random acts of marketing and hope it's all going to work out. And that complexity is growing, right? As buying journeys get longer, as more people get involved on the buying and selling side, and as we now appropriately are figuring out what should humans do and what should agents do and what's the job to be done and how do we better sequence all of that together to create not just predictability, but efficiency and cost effectiveness across the pipeline. So excited to talk about that, and yeah, looking forward to this.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be great. So to kick things off, we mentioned that things like search traffic is changing dramatically. Some may even say that it's like becoming one of those like outdated mechanisms for marketing. And AI is really the crux of that, where it's changing how buyers are discovering brands and doing research. Gone are the days where you would like even use Google to the extent that you used to, especially now where search results are surfacing a majority of information before you even have to click. And so content marketing is still getting asked, to deliver pipeline and whatever that means. But with fewer clicks and fewer signals, how do marketers kind of come to terms with that? And when it comes to changing their strategies, right? And I don't think that we're here to debate like whether or not content marketing still matters. I firmly believe that it still does. But I think that we start this off by asking, how do we make it matter more? And in the context of, this new kind of buying reality where everything is changing. So Andy and Matt, before we dive into all of that, here's a little icebreaker question for you both. What is one aha moment or a shift or some kind of discovery that has changed how you think about the role of content and marketability in 2025? And Andy, maybe you kick us off.
Sure. Yeah. I think one of the moments where it begins to become clear is when you pretend to be your target audience and you use ChatGPT or use Google's AI mode and ask it for a recommendation. Just use all your favorite, prompting best practices and pretend you're your audience. Everybody should do this. Do it everywhere. And it will come back with stuff. And then the next question is, where did you get that information? This is very different from Google because you can talk to AI about why it said what it said. Ask it where it got that information, and you will immediately discover, if it wasn't already obvious, that AI is training on our brands, training on our websites, training on our content. It's a new requirement for web developers and copywriters and content marketers to inject into AI's training data the things that your next prospect needs to help make a decision, to train AI to be a sales rep for your brand. This wasn't something you thought about before, but similar to the way that SEOs always knew, okay, we have two considerations here. We've got a Google bot thing that's going to come visit, and then we have to indicate relevance and be keyword aligned. But now we're thinking differently and more deeply about how is the audience prompting, what are they seeing, and what is supplying those answers. There's good research on this. I could show a screenshot. It's learning on our websites. It's training on our brands. It's ingesting everything that you ever wrote. If you were to discontinue your content program, good luck influencing AI responses, because you just abdicated. You just cut off your best ability, your best method for putting positive insights, proof points, data, evidence, answers into AI's training data. So it's just simply another layer on top of the normal visual internet, but it's still informed by the internet, and you are a contributor to the internet. So that is a moment when you ask it and discover how AI knows about your brand, your competitor's brand, what the buyer's criteria, that you see that it's in fact you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like I'm in the Matrix.
It is a bit like it's a
yeah, it's like a little bit
kind of a
existential crisis, a little bit Matrix. That's healthy. That's the balance. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, make no mistake, we're definitely in the Matrix. And I think everyone is trying to influence our thinking, our decisions, our priorities. And, I think the one of the ahas for me is that buyer confidence is at an all-time low right now. And that's for all kinds of things. It's for transactional purchases, for large, sort of commercial purchases, as things people have to decide and buy as a group. And so I think, we've spent a lot of time rightfully sort of challenging the status quo of our prospects and introducing commercial insights that help them think about things differently. But I think left to their own devices, it just confuses the prospect and leaves them with a lack of confidence, let alone internal alignment to move forward on something. So I think moving forward, especially in a sea of more information and new channels and so much more noise, we need to focus on helping customers build confidence in the decisions they're making, in the things they're prioritizing, and help them build that confidence individually as well as in that buying committee. Our ability to create and enable that alignment and confidence that they're making the right decision without second guessing is going to make or break deals moving forward. And I think that is not a marketing challenge. That is not a sales challenge. That is a corporate challenge across all go-to-market functions.
Yeah. So I guess the first kind of topic that I want to dive into that is a really nice segue from that, but it's around creating that content, right? So as we think about, Andy, you mentioned, how you are basically AI is training on your content. When it comes to like creating that content, like, is there a certain area where you've noticed like marketers kind of hyper focusing on that buyers may not even notice, or that when we're reading stuff like that is surfaced to us, that what's going on behind the scenes of that kind of like content production usually?
Yeah, I think that there's a shift, and this was for a long time. It was like SEOs attract visitors, and then conversion optimizers and UX people convert visitors. That line has blurred with AI, because the way that people use AI is very different from traditional search. Josh, is it okay to share? Is that fair?
Yeah, let's do it.
Can I do that? Okay, I want to show you something.
Love it.
Yeah,
let Andy cook.
We'll see. I'm running this idea past you. Some of these are new thoughts, but here's a point of view.
I love this.
When you use Google, you are asking for options, but when you use AI, you are asking for recommendations. Matt's point: trust. Right? I want to see proof. Like give me a recommend. Like tell me who. Tell me why. So if that's true, and that's my kind of general thesis here, then up until this era, search was about the cheese and the website was the mousetrap. That is now different. And our new job is to, as I said, train AI to be a sales rep for your brand, because people are not using AI to get options. They're using it to get recommendations. They're in consideration phase. They want to know who's a good choice, not just who are the choices. And if you needed any evidence of that, this is probably by now in everybody's analytics. Just go to the source medium. You got to click the drop down from the traffic acquisition report and go look and see the difference in session key event rate. I've chosen contact lead. It's double. Visitors who come from AI are actually, their feet are dangling out the bottom of the funnel. They're sort of ready, like they had a conversation. They had a conversation with ChatGPT, and there's lots of evidence of this. Prompts are longer than queries. So how's your audience prompting? What does it look like? This is how people prompt, of course, right? You give it a role, you give it a task, you give it a context, and you tell it what you need. I want good options. I want strong examples. I want expertise. So let's take a moment and consider this. If this is how your audience today or next week or next year is investigating options in your category, and that they're adding role, skills, task, output, that's like basic prompt engineering, then maybe our new job or the new angle on this whole predictable pipeline idea is that these words in those people's prompts need to become copy on our pages. In other words, we sort of have to do prompt reverse engineering and include these elements on our site too, because they get ingested by AI. And that's maybe similar, or maybe it's different. Does your site and your content list the job titles of your ICPs? Does it list the industry category? Yeah, almost certainly. I hope you got that. Do you go to detail, like case study style or stories or evidence and of the actual thing the person wants to solve for? Did you spell it all out? And how much evidence did you add? Not just logos or awards, but as text that AI can read and understand. So this is a little bit different. And the thinking that the Heinz team does is how to build the case and answer the questions and handle the objections, right? To align sales with marketing. That's what SEOs need to learn now. A lot of SEOs, ask them, they don't really know what wins the sales call. You need to know that. This is an era that really rewards the full funnel marketer. This is a time now when we have to go deeper into the proof points in our content and show and tell the reasons to believe, to build that trust, to fill that gap, to handle those objections, to use supportive evidence, because all of that goes into AI's training data.
Wow, that was really cool, Andy. I love that.
The point of view, if nothing else. I don't know. It's my latest thinking, and it makes sense, right? Because you don't go to AI just to get options. You're talking to it about choices. So people who have the focus that sales marketing alignment people have, people who understand lead gen, people who know, objection handling. How well does your site do that? Does it compare options? Does it help them compare options? How's your case study game? Right? I don't think it's going to work out for you very well if you're not strong. So SEOs need to learn conversion elements, and all of us need to connect to really, break down the silos and steal your sales reps' laptops and look to see what questions they're answering, because that's how your audience is prompting before they're on the call, before they're on the website, right? That's a little different.
Yeah. Reverse prompt engineering is fascinating. Also, Andy, I think you have to turn your camera back on. I don't know why that is the thing for this. It's weird.
It's a bug in the matrix, Josh.
That's right.
I'm still here. I'm right here. I was very passionate in that moment. I made a lot of amazing expressions that you missed.
Only
no one cares.
For those at home. That's right. This is crazy. Matt, do you have anything to reactions to that? I have a couple things that I want to talk about.
I was going to say, that's a mic drop for Andy.
I'm going to say, are we done with this webinar?
We're not done. Let Andy cook. What else you got? I think that a lot of people throw their hands up when they say, well, the buyers are self-educated, they're self-empowered, they just want to do this on their own. The first two of those things are correct. The buyers have access to more information than ever. They can do their own research. They can get more detail and ask AI all kinds of interesting questions. It's increasing the confusion and sort of the lack of interest in moving forward, because more information doesn't usually add clarity. More information usually brings up more questions, right? Like the Brent Adamson, who wrote the new book, The Framemaker Sale, who talks a lot about this topic. He used the example of like, go to Amazon and say you need some gym shorts. It's just gym shorts, right? It's not a car. It's not enterprise software. It's just gym shorts. You will find a billion options. None of them are perfect. All of them have bad reviews. So you have access not just to like go to the store and like they have two kinds of gym stocks. You got Amazon, you've got 100,000 options. It's not better, it's worse, right? And so our ability to be experts, Brent uses the term decision coaching, right? Helping to coach your buyer to have more confidence and lean into the fact that there's more information, lean into the fact that they don't want to use your gates, lean into the fact that they still want to be on their own, but they still need help. What if you approach relationships with your prospects not as a way to get a demo, but as an attempt to build some trust and rapport? What if you were working towards making a new friend, right? I mean, I actually think that you can take the analogy that far. Make yourself someone that they trust, not just in your concepts and your ideas, but in the way that you respect them and the way that you honor them in the process.
Yeah. Here's a question for you both, and this came up, Andy, when you were presenting. Has AI essentially like destroyed whatever was left of like a funnel? Like if we think about, even a few years ago, where like you had awareness and it was like most of the funnel, and then like consideration, and then like decision. But like Andy, from what you just described, and Matt, you too, like, I don't know, from a marketing perspective, it's like, why am I even investing in like awareness building when by the time someone is starting to like actually do the right research, like that takes up a majority of the time around like trying to find recommendations, gathering all that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if there's two kinds of marketing, brand marketing and performance marketing, I absolutely cannot make a case against brand marketing right now because we're trying to circumvent big tech and like be aware of these people, build awareness before the person's even a target audience member, like just have a brand play of some kind. For me, it's our LinkedIn newsletter. Just do something that makes you generally more aware by, in your vertical. The performance marketing thing in the classic funnel, I think, is really different. And what a lot of people are saying is, oh, it's flat now. I think the long-term trend going back to the early 90s was this: the problem aware, solution aware, brand aware, I'm signing a check. That used to happen in sales meetings, and what the internet has done is empowered the potential lead to do so much research earlier in the process. So of course, the internet made it possible for people to get tons and tons of information before they make a decision. Obviously, no one calls a rep to get gym shorts, buyers are more empowered, leads are more empowered, and they can do more and better research long before. People don't really want to talk to people that much, right? Not until you break through and do what Matt said, the friendship thing. You have to really give a lot of information to this person before they're ready to click or call or fill out a form. That's been the trend. That's been the direction we've moved several decades now. You've just seen that. People are doing deep research on the web before they're ready to take action, and AI just empowers them more. You could go to AI and say, build me a buyer guide for this service in this category. Give me at least 10 options. I want to see pros and cons of each, specifically for this use case that I'm working on. And then what happens? They're not on a website. AI built for them a buyer guide. So it sort of makes the visual internet slightly less important and chatbots slightly more important, because you can actually have this tool do the research for you. So what does that mean? We're still here to train the web and to teach and to trigger the algorithms and to yet rank in search, which is 350 times more popular than ChatGPT right now still. People need to remember this. Okay, there's leads flowing through Google right now. There are people searching for your category right now. People landing on your competitors' websites right now. Google is hundreds of times more popular than AI. AI hasn't put a dent in Google's market share. The data is clear. So yes, we have to, part of what we're doing now is putting all that beauty and sparkle and love on the internet, social for B2C, all the places, right? All the things. Collaborate with influencers, publish deep original research and strong opinions, and build those pages, those key pages, the money page, the sales page, so that it answers the questions, addresses the objections, and supplies the supportive evidence. Because even if I was a word of mouth visitor and my mom said, you got to hire those people, and I go to the site, I still have yet that moment. The mechanism for demand is still happening on the branded experience of the website. Post 2030, AI is probably going to make the decision for us, and people will completely abdicate the decision making and trust that. I mean, who knows what happens next? But for now, no, it's the consumer is even more empowered. But that didn't change the game about getting recommended offline marketing and supplying all the exquisite level of detail you can to AI's training data, because that is yet one new channel, and we're going to play it.
Yeah, I love that. Matt, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants to be paying attention to AI. It is a fraction of the volume of searches that Google has, but there's strong evidence in a number of cases that the quality of AI searches, the intense level, their proximity to transaction is significantly higher. I don't think that AI has eliminated the funnel. Like, one of the things I think about like a lot as a B2B marketer is like what consumer marketers are doing when when A, for complex transactions, but B, for things that you don't need very often. Like, you're not buying enterprise software very often. You're not doing these large long-term deals as often. So it's a couple of things we know. One, through research from Sixth Sense and others, that, if you are the first person someone knows, even if they don't want to have a sales conversation until late in the buying journey, if they know and trust you early, you are the incumbent and you are far more likely to get the deal. And then think about like local television advertising. I assume there might be a couple people on here that still watch some local TV. And one of the highest volume advertisers on television is plumbers, right? It's plumbers and tire stores, which you don't need all the time, right? But like if your pipe breaks or if you have a flat tire, you need someone now, right? And if you go to the yellow pages or you go to Google, just like looking for gym shorts, like, who do I go work with? And sometimes people will equate awareness with familiarity with trust. And so if I see those same ads that show those nice, clean, smiling plumbers, right? Or the tire store where the people run out and they give you free beef. I don't think Les Schwab does free beef anymore. But anyway, like,
Matt's all about free beef.
That's a brand play.
It's a brand play, and I guarantee you it works because these companies have been doing it forever, right? And they know that if you win the hearts and minds of people, sometimes just because they like your ads, because they like your brand, they're going to come to you first. They're going to call you first. You're going to get the business when they don't have time and don't feel comfortable like just treating everyone equally. It's a really important shortcut to helping consumers and B2B buyers shortcut their decision making and increase confidence in making a decision, and hopefully a decision with you.
Okay, this is great. What about, let's think about the output of this conversation now. So, there are marketers on the line. They're thinking about like what's next for their content, for their marketing strategy. We mentioned a lot about like search, website, brand strategies. When it comes to like, a quick checklist of like, these are things that, I myself am going to do as part of like my brand, like you, Andy, Matt.
Sure.
What are like what's in like your short list of like, we need to create XYZ in the next 6 months to make sure that we are, at the top of our game come 2026?
I love this. I'm going to share again because now we're switching from AI from changing user behavior to AI for marketing outcomes. Here we go. If I click the share button, share entire screen, and this time I promise to turn my camera back on afterwards.
Andy, you're so prepared. I love this.
I'm trying it. I'm giving like several presentations a week. Okay, so think about this for a minute. If it's true, if my theory was true, is that AI search is about options, AI is about getting recommendations, that people prompt a certain way, therefore we should adapt our copy in a certain way, then it's true that you can also use AI to evaluate the extent to which we did or didn't do those things. So we are now creating here AI discoverability audit prompts where you give it a brand and you tell it to just focus on the website where we know that it's training from, and not crawl around the web here. Like I'm working on my on me right now. So I'm going to get to focus on my website. And then simply, and you could write your own prompt for this, ask it to what extent, did I do these things? List the buyer personas, industries, and geographies, state the use cases, specific use cases and reasons why people buy, the outcomes and impact of the work that you do. Because that's, they're looking for recommendation, and the extent to which you included all the trust type signals as text. The logos aren't enough anymore. If AI is looking for persuasion type, trust, credibility elements, they have to be ingestible and scannable and crawlable. So my prompts, and I love auto prompts, I do these a lot, is going to ask it now for a rating system, rate the extent to which I did those things on a scale of 1 to 5. And then give me a couple quick ideas. This is, again, you can't ask Google how to rank. I mean, I guess maybe you could now, but this is where AI is different. It's sort of a transparent model. Like, you can look into it. And I got it to, it successfully focuses on just that brand. Look, it's just learning from the website. Are there missed opportunities on my website? How well did I do against those things? If it will rate it for you, and I could definitely do better. Look, this site doesn't have any of the things that AI would need to have to recommend me for the next person who's looking. It doesn't have, the outcomes that I might be asking AI about, right? It doesn't include those elements. So then if you just keep going with it, it just will actually make for you a list of things you should do, right? Put those in. This is all based on my big thesis here that, as we discussed, include those elements. Did I miss anything? What else could I put in? And then it will simply give you a list of recommendations. And I kind of agree with all of these things. Now, I worry that it's not going to get every image in there, but that's the idea. And everyone's talking about AI visibility right now. Big, weird idea. Agree or disagree? It's not really about AI visibility. It's about getting recommended, because when that person asks for pros and cons and options and recommendations, you might be in the mix with like a 2 out of 5 stars, right, against that person's criteria. So yeah, the shift today is that we need to train AI to be another one of our reps. Weird, strange, right? A big shift. And here's the muckrack data. It's reading and citing and learning from our own sites. That's your website. That's the blogs and content. Your site is your chance. This is the moment when we need to give total clarity on who buys from us, what they care about, what they get when they buy, who are a fit for, who are not a fit for, and all the reasons to believe. That needs to be somewhere. And it's not just for conversion in the visual internet, HTTP rendering images, browser experience. It's because your future prospect is going deeper into a conversation with AI and learning what it can before even coming to your site. So yeah, if what I'm saying is true, then it's a change, and the future of the internet is not, the nature of the visual internet is going to be shifting here slightly.
That's super
cool. The commonality in all this is just good content, right? The models need to learn. Like,
persuasion.
No, really. I mean, I think the internet is a vehicle. AI is a vehicle. A magazine is a vehicle. A billboard is a vehicle, right? So, but they all count on having the right message that compels the right reaction, the right emotion, and the right next step from your prospects, right? And so we still have to generate the right content. We can still generate content that is customer-centric, not product-centric. The market is getting flooded with information right now. All these, we were both at Inbound last week, Josh, and so many companies on the trade show floor are kind of peddling the same general kind of thing. It's like, hey, tell us about your customer, and we'll write this workflow for you. We'll write these drip campaigns. We'll write all your ads, right? Faster, easier, cheaper. I'm not convinced that solves a seller problem, but it exacerbates a buyer problem with all the noise that's out there that is written from the seller's point of view. It is creating more confusion. It is killing decision making inside organizations. It's gym shorts all over again. And so we have an opportunity, we have a mandate as marketers to swim against that, to be someone that is useful, that is valuable, that is building trust and credibility by putting the customer's needs first, by sometimes thinking that 3 steps are faster than 1 and not asking for the demo right away. I feel like I've been saying this for 17 years, and every time something new happens, it just creates more noise, more confusion, and the fundamentals are still driving the difference between the winners and losers.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
agree more.
that is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say, all of this I think just comes back down. It's funny, like it's rebuilding foundations in a way that I think just makes them stronger. Is just the takeaway that I had from both of you, which I think is really good. Like, there's a reason why they are foundations, right? We don't need to reinvent wheels. Like, that's not our job. Our job is to help buyers make better decisions, easier decisions. And yeah, Matt, like, to your point, it's all a vehicle, but we still need to kind of put ourselves in that driver's seat to help them kind of like navigate that road, because otherwise it's just going to take them entirely somewhere else.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I want to be mindful of time. I feel like we've talked a lot about this kind of stuff, and there's obviously, we could go, I'm sure, for like hours on that, but let's start to get to the tail end here. I want to leave folks with something super actionable. Andy, I think that you, first of all, thank you for sharing your screen both those times. I feel like I was chatting with John Steyert, who's, Andy, you know.
Yeah. Hey, John.
He says hi. John is our senior content marketing manager. I literally said, this webinar with Andy and Matt is fascinating. I will send to you to watch this later. There are things that we absolutely need to be doing for our 2026 strategy. So that's going to be great.
That's the whole point, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mission accomplished. Look at that.
Right. None of this is AI, or is it?
We don't know.
Right. So yeah. So let's end with one final wrap up question. If you could write one thing on a Post-it note to like slap onto someone's computer screen that they see every morning, like, what would that say in terms of advice that you're giving, or like things that they should remember? Like, what's going on your Post-it note? And Andy, I'll have you kick it off.
What wins the sales call? That is the bottom line. And that is what marketers who are, I know so many marketers who are top of funnel, or so many marketers who are channel specific. And I love them, and I am one. And many, at different times in my day, I'm an SEO at times a day. That's a channel. I'm active on LinkedIn. Social's a channel. But in the end, really, what are we doing here? You're not likely to drive a business outcome unless you know the sort of, in their words, like why people hire you, buy from you, add to cart, fill out a form. When you know really what those aha moments are, that, when a rep is talking to a prospect, when you know what the strongest proof points are, the ones that are most likely to compel this person. Like earlier today, I was on a webinar and we were evaluating a law firm website, and buried down deep, it's like, if these litigation things, by the way, our attorneys used to work for the government regulators. They came from the FDA. Like, wait, what? That's all you needed to tell me? You guys are the former regulators yourselves? Like, who could, like, so write those messages, make those messages prominent, pretend that the digital experience is the sales call, make your pages emulate a sales call, thereby training AI to be a sales rep for your brand, and get to the bottom of the funnel, not just the marketing funnel, but the sales funnel. Now you've obliterated the barrier between sales and marketing. You've empowered the visitor, or before they're even a visitor, the prompter, to know if they're making a good decision. I don't know how you can do marketing unless you are a full funnel marketer without any barrier, no silos with sales. That's what the marketer's job is to enable pipeline, to grow demand, the qualified leads, right? So until you've done that, until you know that, until you've written that, you should pause everything else. right? And fill your content and your copywriting and your social strength. Those are the case studies. Those are the answers. Those are the objections that must be handled. That's your job.
Love it. Thank you, Andy. And Mr. Matt, what's your post-it note?
Andy, that's a really long post-it note, but I like it. I like all.
It's a word scroll is what it is.
I think just to stay on the theme that I've covered a lot here is my post-it note. I'd want you to say, does this increase customer confidence? And the does this is like what I'm working on right now, what I'm writing right now, what I'm building right now, the workflows, whatever it is. Does this improve customer confidence? Does this help a customer make a decision and make that decision because they have confidence in themselves first? They have confidence in themselves. They have confidence in their decisions. They have confidence in their priorities. If they have that and you've helped them get there, you are the incumbent. So focus on the confidence they have in themselves in as many of the touch points as you can, and your marketing and sales will improve.
That little post-it soundbite I'm going to end up thinking about now for days. Thanks for that. The confidence they have in themselves.
Yes.
That gets to the real reason people buy, right? It's like
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And shout out Brent Adamson, who's been talking about this for a while, and it's a key part of his book, The Frame Making Sale. But that customer confidence, right? I mean, we talk a lot about objection handling, which is important, but objection handling, we treat it as objections to our products and services. But if you turn around an objection is a reflection of the customer's lack of confidence in a decision that they're facing, right? And if you can get to the root of that issue, like where and why are they not confident, then you can move forward. And the earlier you can identify and address that in the buying journey, the less likely it's going to be a blocker. And that's at an individual level, right? Confidence in myself is one thing. Confidence as a group is another. If you have 5 people in the buying committee and you have 4 yeses and 1 soft no, the deal is dead, right? It's just like the gym shorts. 98% of people love these gym shorts, and we're fixing it. We did 2% not like them. What was wrong with these gym shorts? Am I going to be part of the 2%, right? It kills confidence. It kills momentum. So this is why B2B selling and marketing is so hard right now, right? I need an individual to have confidence in themselves. I need a buying group to have confidence in themselves individually and themselves as a group to move something forward. Does this increase customer confidence?
I love it. Well, on our next session, we will go into marketing therapy on self-confidence and self-doubt. So join us for that one on the next one. That one will be especially valuable for me, who has imposter syndrome. Andy, Matt, you two are great. This has been lovely. I love the casual nature of just our little friendly chats. It feels like we were just like on a Teams call. So this was great. Thank you both for being here. We really appreciate it. Last questions for you both. Where can people find you and learn more? Andy?
Orbitmedia.com is where I publish everything first. You can see like those, if you find the events there, you can sign up. I've got a webinar coming up where I'm doing a GA4 review. It's like a mini masterclass, a 1-hour session coming up. But LinkedIn's by far my best network. There's a blue follow button. There's some dots next to it. Click the dots and go to connect if you want to chat, and just mention this webinar, and I'll accept that invite today. I'll put that in here in case anyone wants to just click straight through. That's me.
Love it. Matt, where
Awesome.
can people find you?
Kind of same, I mean, like you can get a lot of great content. If you like what I'm saying, you're going to like what the rest of our team says. I used to write everything on our blog, and now I write nothing on our blog, and it has improved significantly. So if you want to learn more about predictable pipeline, go to market orchestration, the best practices of creating predictability in complex sales cycles, HeinzMarketing.com, blog posts, best practice guides, workbooks, the like. You can find me on LinkedIn for sure. You can also find me on Substack, mattheinz.substack.com.
I love it. And then to learn more about Netline, you can visit us at netline.com. We actually just released, speaking of workbooks, the second edition of our marketing mastery workbook. The Heinz team helped us create the first iteration. And so this is the evolution of that. But I'll drop a link for y'all to see that. If you're going to be at Content Marketing World too, I know, Andy, you're going to be there. Yep. I am also going to be there. But if you find me, I'll give you a physical copy of that workbook as well. So
great. I'll bring a book for you.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I think that will wrap us up then. So Andy, Matt, thank you all so much again. Thank you for everyone who has joined us and for engaging with us in the chat. We hope to see you again soon. So thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Good to see you, man.
Bye, all.
Have a beautiful day, everybody.